My name is Flora Limukim. Here is our top story this afternoon. Barely 3 days after it was revealed that the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA was embroiled in a 3.7 billion shillings anti-malaria net tender scandal, Health CS Susan Nakumeja has since revealed how some of the targeted individuals tried to fight back, further trying to prevent her letter from reaching ESCC CEO Twalib Mubarak.
Event here today. We know that corruption and illicit finance are global challenges. We also know that corruption in the healthcare sector, as we've learnt from the performance just now, that corruption in the healthcare sector kills. This is the use of resources in the healthcare and making sure they're used efficiently and effectively is an important issue which the CS and I have discussed many times in the past. The UK is a proud supporter of the healthcare sector in Kenya, and over the last 20 years has provided roughly £200 million or 30 billion Kenyan shillings to support healthcare in Kenya, particularly maternal, child, reproductive health. We learned from the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, which was launched earlier this year, that Kenya has made great progress in reducing the incidences of neonatal maternal death. Significant progress has been made, but there is still more that needs to be done. If you look at the attendance of births by skilled health attendants, Kenya is now up over 90% in this regard, but there are some counties where this is not the case. In some counties, 1 in 2 children who are born are not attended by a skilled birth attendant. In some counties, which were mentioned earlier, we find that the healthcare facilities are not as equipped or not as easily accessible for everybody. So there is fantastic work that has been done in the health sector, but there's still a long way to go. I know that Kenya has signed up to the Abuja Declaration to allocate 15% of its government budget to the health sector, and that would be a wonderful achievement. But it's not just the level of resources, it's how those resources are used that is equally important. And so let me just finish by saying that the UK and Kenya have a long, deep relationship that covers many sectors, including health, and I'm proud of the work that we've been doing in anti-corruption and illicit finance. And it's great to be here today, as I've said, to launch this particular report. I've already learnt a lot, so Victor, thank you for sharing the highlights of that report, and I look forward to hearing more about how the government of Kenya, how county governments are looking to improve the use of public resources to address some of the recommendations and the constraints that have been identified in this particular report. The fact we're here together today is a signal of our interest, our shared interest in the use of public resources and addressing some of these recommendations. I do just want to say that the UK and Kenya stand together. We have, as I said, a long history of engagement, and this is one step along the way to helping to improve the use of public resources in the health sector. On that note, let me hand back, Jackson, and I wish you all.
Has been cleared in the murder of his friend Jeff Mwadhi, who was found dead in his house in Kasarani area here in Nairobi. The court has instead ordered a public inquest in Mwadhi's death that sparked public outcry. The Director of Public Prosecution made the application for for public inquest after investigations exonerated DJ Fatso from the murder.
Thereafter, it was taken over by the headquarters. It has been investigated thoroughly, and that is by none other than the department that is tasked and well equipped to deal with these matters. The purpose of this particular process is to give you a press briefing with the authority of our client, of course, to give you an update on where we are. The reason for this is because we have seen in the recent past a lot of public uproar, we have seen a lot of misinformation, and we have said it is best that we give you this particular position. So the essence of it, and I'll give you a copy of this press release, so I will not read it, but I will do just a snippets of it. This particular matter has been extensively investigated. An autopsy had been conducted, and there was a second autopsy conducted, which is in the public domain. This particular issue is because the first investigators from Kasarani Police Station were satisfied that the events and the account by our client was complete, was corroborated, and they did not see any or find any culpability. When there was the public outroar, we actually had this matter transmitted to the headquarters. It was properly investigated. Every stone was.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has visited the Naibor ASTU camp in Laikipia North constituency to give moral support to the multi-agency security team that has seen the recovery of 75 heads of cattle stolen from Enasoit Ranch earlier this week. The National Police Service and KDF joint operation dubbed Maliza Uhalifu in 6 counties of North Rift Valley is aimed at restoring and ensuring peace and security even after the operation is concluded. The multi-agency security team will remain on the ground to ensure that bandits and other armed criminals do not regroup to terrorize residents. Various areas have been gazetted as dangerous and disturbed, including Mukogodo Forest, and are out of bounds for all unauthorized persons. Security officers will continue to comb the forest and pursue all criminals holed up there.
I will not allow us to go backwards. Saa hii hao wakora wako kona, wazitoke hiyo kona. Na hii msitu hii ya Mukogodo is the place where they are hiding. We have the size hapo, and because of the terrain wanasumbua saa ingine, na saa ingine wanajaribu kujificha na kujaribu kupiga askari wetu. So we must get them out. I must say that the government is working on modernizing and improving your equipment. And very soon you'll see major changes. In the next few weeks, the next couple of months, we are going to upgrade the equipment of the National Police Service to a scale never seen before. You're going to have air assets, functional, brand new helicopter gunships to help us smoke these criminals from these places where they are hiding.
Elsewhere, Ilma Shariani Primary School in Narok North Sub-County has been closed after pupils went protesting against the transfer of their head teacher Isaac Naiku. The board chairman says they were surprised that the head teacher had been transferred without their knowledge, yet she has improved the school's academic and infrastructural development for the last few years at the helm. He says they had pupils' commotion and got to learn of the transfer of the headmistress, Jane Sankok, whom he said has seen the number of pupils grow from 300 to the current 2,000. Sankok in the TSC memo had been transferred to Kisiriri Primary School in Narok North Sub-County. Mr. Naiku attributed the development of the school to the headmistress, saying the only thing the government should have done was to promote her.
Mimi naitwa Isaac Naiku na mimi ni mwenyekiti wa hii shule Ilma Shariani, na hii kilio tumesikia wanafunzi wakilia imebidi tukuje mpaka shule ili tuone shida mahali iko. Na tulishangaa sana kukuta mwalimu mkuu amehamishwa bila sisi kujua. Na huyu mwalimu mkuu ni mwalimu ambaye amesaidia hii shule. So tunaomba serikali warudishe huyu mwalimu, kwa sababu huyu mwalimu ndio tumeona mwalimu pekee ambaye amekuja kuinua hii shule. Alikuta shule ikiwa na watoto 300, sasa hizi tuko na watoto zaidi ya 2000 kwa muda mfupi sana. Amebadilisha shule imekuwa kama academy, na huyu mwalimu amekaa na wanafunzi wetu vizuri. Na sasa wanafunzi moja na wanakamati pia tunasema sio vizuri huyo mwalimu aondolewe. Huyo mwalimu bado tunamhitaji na tunasema arudishwe.
Tumepigwa na butwaa kwa sababu hatujui ni kosa gani huyu madam amefanya, hatujui ni kwa nini ameondolewa hapa. Kwa hivyo sisi kilio chetu kama wanakijiji wa hii area, tunaomba huyo mwalimu arudishwe.
Sisi tunaambia serikali kama wanatusikia mahali wako, watusaidie hii shule yetu ya Ilmashariani, watu wachiane na mwalimu yetu Madam Sangok. Tunajua hiyo ni mali ya serikali, lakini juu aliletwa hapa, hii shule isimame. So wawache hii shule isimame kwanza, na kama wanataka kumtoa, wakuja wamtoe kwa wakati mzuri. Kwa saa hii bado tu.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says the government will support key projects to boost the country's blue economy. He said the Kenya Kwanza administration will work with the European Union and coastal counties to unlock the potential of the sector. Speaking in Mombasa when he presided over the launch of fishing boats acquired in partnership with European Union under the Go Blue project, Gachagua said the government is ready to provide resources and requisite support to ensure the success of the blue economy. The Go Blue project is a partnership between the government and the European Union and aims at enhancing the country's blue economy through empowerment of local fishermen.
It is an important development since April 19th when we flagged off the first batch of 8 in Kwale. With these projects, we unlock the potential of large sea opportunities in coastal urban centers for sustainable and inclusive economic growth. This will result in creation of employment while conserving and sustainably using the coastal and marine environment, as well as promoting effective and integrated maritime governance. Your Excellencies, I take note that some of the key activities in the project, this project is undertaking are aimed at accelerating sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic urban coastal growth. This is an important component in job creation, especially for the youth and women through skills and value chain development. This is by enhancing maritime governance through integrated and effective law enforcement.
Ile sera yetu ambayo tunaiunda pamoja tukichukua mawazo yao ili kuhakikisha tumeweza kufaulu katika mambo ya uchumi samawati. Na pia nimesema kwamba ule mswada ambao uko bungeni sasa ili kuangalia mambo yetu ya fedha ni muhimu tujihusishe kwa mawazo. Kwa sababu tumeona wengine wamefanya tishio ya kufanya maandamano kwa hiyo, lakini tunasema kwamba njia muhimu ni sisi kuweka mawazo yetu pamoja ili kuweza kuhakikisha ile ajenda ya rais na naibu ambayo inamlenga sana mwananchi wa chini inaweza kufanikiwa na nchi inaweza kufanikiwa kiuchumi.
Youth from Nyamira County have now found a relief after receiving education from the Youth Economic Empowerment Summit. The summit has taught them how to self-employ in a difficult job market. The meeting held at Uhuru Gardens in Nyamira town has given the youth the opportunity to learn various agricultural techniques to improve their income. Dorcas Grace Nyamongo, the Minister of Gender, Sports and Culture in the country, supported by the Director of Sports, Jad Nambaka, stated that the meeting was meant to motivate them.
Say we have the opportunity, we have the passion to mentor them. We also want them to have a life that is satisfying, a life that is productive, and a life that is focused. We know they are very cooperative, but because of the limited resources, we just want to encourage each youth. White-collar job is not the only solution of making a life.
a program whose conceptualization is premised on the need to have the youth holistically take part in the transformation of our country and contribute to economic development.
Elsewhere, 1,200 families have been displaced by the heavy rains that ravaged the coastal area, rendering them homeless. The heavy rains swept houses in the slums of Moroto and Burukenge in Vita constituency and Chani in Changama constituency. Speaking to the media while distributing relief food and other necessities, the founder of Mission Relief Africa, Mohamed Rauf, disclosed that almost 50 houses have completely been damaged and washed away, and families were left with nothing to salvage.
Tuko nayo unga hapa, tuko na maziwa, mkate, and maybe other some raw food items. Non-food items ni kama blankets, which they need a lot in this cold weather, and also vitu vya kupikia kama vyombo, stove, sufuria. All these things, when nyumba zinaporomoka, we have 3 categories of that. Kuna minimum damage, moderate damage, and complete damage. Hapa tuliposimama ni complete damage. Kila kitu imeenda, it has been washed away. Kuna nyumba zingine ambazo tulienda kuvisit that paka uniforms za shule, vitabu za shule, books, everything zilikuwa washed away. Gelesha kuwa it's very important ya kuwa watoke from the lowlands and come to the higher areas where the rains.
Nanyuki wildlife conservation officer was lucky to survive from an elephant attack while protecting the endangered species in Mount Bongo for 18 years. James Muraya has survived using a modified artificial diaphragm to breathe, which was imported from France. Muraya, who works at the Mount Kenya Wildlife Conservancy in Laikipia, says that despite being hit by a rude elephant, it did not affect his love for wildlife conservation, a task he has vowed to carry on as long as he is alive. Muraya, who is a father of 4 children, says that wildlife conservation has helped him to educate and feed his family and has called on illegal hunters to develop alternative ways to get livelihood and not to destroy the remaining wildlife. He urges the government to impose tough measures to those found poaching wild animals for the future generation to have a beautiful wildlife heritage to identify with.
American Zoo wako na plan ya kuleta 100, but hawakuleta wale 100 hapa, walilete 18, na wakati nilikuwa nachunga hao 18 ndio nilipata ajali kubwa ya kukutana na elephant, the bull, ambaye wakati tulikuwa tunasukuma elephant kutoka kwenye Bongo Boma, sababu walikuwa nafuja Bongo Boma ya dume, ule elephant wa kiume tulikutana naye, na wakati alikuwa nakibishana na mimi nikisuguka mti hapo, sababu kazi ya kuhepa elephant ni kusuguka mti asasako na kuconnect to the next tree. Wakati nilikuwa najaribu hivyo, niligonga kisiki pale chini na nikaanguka, na huyo elephant akaweza kunipata. Alikuja kwangu akiwa nalukaluka tu mara moja, akiwa anafikiria amenikanyanga, but kwa bahati hakunikanyanga. Aliniu down, akanidunga kwa back, akaninua chini, akaninua juu mara 2 na akanidunga mpaka kwenye lungs zangu. Kwa hivyo kwenye lungs zangu ilikuja kupasuliwa na elephant, na kwenye ile diaphragm yangu ikawa imetobolewa, na hiyo imewekwa kiraka ya kitambaa ambayo ni kitambaa ilitoka France.
And as the world commemorates World Donkey Day, residents of Ndeya sub-county in Kiambu County are requesting the government to look into illegal slaughtering of donkeys. They have also called upon groups and organizations that fight and protect animal rights to intervene and save the animal, which has become an endangered species in the country. This comes after several carcasses of donkeys were found piled up in Kiawanda village, where the illegal business is booming. Elsewhere, residents of Bomgo, Kajiado South presented over 200 donkeys for vaccination. Brook East Africa Regional Director Dr. Raphael Kinoti said the number of donkeys that have died over the last 10 years has reduced by close to 700,000.
Ni kusema kwa muda wa miaka 10 punda wamepungua takriban punda 1700. Lakini ukiangalia kwa jinsi ya kuzaa tunasema punda